So beside me here I have the 2026 GMC Yukon Denali in Onyx Black. We're going to do a walk around and a review on it. Let me know what you guys think. So in front of me here I've got the 2026 GMC Yukon Denali in Onyx Black. And I gotta say, from a front profile view, I think GMC has done a fantastic job with the overall layout and design. I think it's a very bold look. So we'll start here at the front and we'll start with the headlights. So you're gonna get these C-shaped LED daytime running lights with LED lights. Now as we carry over into the center here, we've got that blacked out GMC badge. And honestly, I think that's a really nice look here at the front. We've got a brushed aluminum grille here, as we can see. We've got some more brushed aluminum down below. Parking sensors as well on that front bumper. We've got your fog lights as well. Now down below on the grille here, we've got a camera underneath to encompass your full 360 camera. Now we don't get, I would say, a lot of ground clearance underneath here. There is no plastic air dam. There's just kind of these plastic pieces that are in front of the wheels. But overall, from a front profile stance, I think the GMC Yukon Denali looks fantastic. Now that is really it here at the front. Let's take a look underneath the hood and go over the engine of choice. So underneath the hood here of this GMC Yukon Denali, we've got the naturally aspirated 6.2 liter V8. We've got 420 horsepower and 460 pound-feet of torque mated to the 10-speed. Now, if you still choose not to get the 6.2, you can get the 3-liter Duramax, because I know GM has had issues with the 6.2. So if you choose to go with a different engine, you still can get that as well. But that's underneath the hood here. Let's take a look around the Yukon Denali and go over its options. So let's take a look around the GMC Yukon Denali here, and we'll start with the tire and wheel design. So we're sitting on a 24-inch wheel. 285/40 R24 is the tire design, and they are Bridgestone tires. And might I say, I think GM does a really good job designing the overall wheel. We can see we got the red GMC logo there, carpeted liner inside the fender, and this vehicle does sit on air suspension. Now on the side of the fender here, we've got this red GMC logo here with some brushed aluminum on the side. We've got the blacked out mirror cap here, camera underneath, and then also a light here on the side. And then here's a side profile view of the GMC Yukon. So you can see we're gonna get a little bit more brushed aluminum pieces around the vehicle. So at the bottom of the doors, the Denali badge there, and then on the windowsill there as well. And then also on the top where the roof racks are. But this is not the XL, so the XL is gonna add about a foot more of room. Now the nice thing is you get keyless entry on all 4 doors, and the door handles do have some nice brushed aluminum piecing around it. So right over here at the top and bottom, and that's on all 4 door handles. Now as we open this up here, we're greeted with a black interior here on this one specifically. Now you can get a brown interior as well with the Denali. Now here's a look at the door panel. All soft touch here, some really nice leather trim appointed pieces here at the top, some wood trim as well. You're gonna get lock and unlock here, window control, and then you got your Bose speaker here. Denali here on the door sill, and then this is what the seat looks like. So you're gonna get Denali stitched on the seats themselves, but I gotta say they look pretty good and they feel nice. Your seat adjustments here, no massaging seats on the Denali. You're gonna have to go to the Denali Ultimate. And then here's what the dash looks like. So you're gonna get Denali there on the side, and then more of that wood trim carried throughout, even here on the console, which we'll go over once we go over onto that side. Then you've got your lower glove box area here, some more storage inside also. And then this is the carpeted mat, which does say GMC there. Now we'll close this here, and then we'll take a look at the back. So this is what the back looks like. This one does have the optional screens in the back here. And then this is what the seats look like. So they're really nice, soft, and plush. Now to move them, you can push this here and move it forward and back. This here, if you click it twice, will actually have the seat fold up. So there's that. That's one way of doing it. So then we can have it come back all the way up. Or there's a button here on the side, which you can click, and the seat will fold down, and then you can click it again and have the seat come all the way back up. So a couple options for people to do if they want to move the seat. Now inside here, you're going to get climate control, 2 HDMIs. You're also going to get a 120 plug, USB-Cs on both sides, and then your cup holders here at the top. This is what that moonroof looks like. So it stretches all the way to the back up to the passengers. And like I said, you got dual screens here, handles to help you get in on both sides. This is what the door looks like. So all soft and plush here, some more wood trim, lock and unlock, Bose speaker, and then you're gonna get Denali here on the door sill. But I will show you guys how I would get in here as someone who's about 5'10", 5'11". All right, so hopping inside here, the running board that comes out, it's automatic, so that's really nice to help you get in. You've got your handle here, and then to hop in, very, very easy. Now, one thing that I've noticed with the 26s specifically, well, the seats themselves, the comfort level actually went up. I found in the previous generations, they were still a little stiff, but I do find that the leather in the 26s and the seat comfort has gone up. So that's one great thing to note. Now to move the seat, all you do is push it forward and back. Very easy to do. You can recline the seats too. And then you've got your armrests here as well. So, you know, you got a ton of room. I would say the only thing is the headroom is not that great, but you know, you got your vents here, lights and whatnot. I like the moonroof. It adds more light. So, you know, brings more light into the cabin. But overall, it's a really nice place to hang out. And like I said, I think the seat comfort went up for 26. So that is really it. And then hopping out, you got your handle, the running board. So let me know what you guys think. Now, one thing I will add is this one does obviously have the walkway here. So it does give you better access to the third row. Now we'll shut the door here. And then this is what that back tire and wheel looks like. So same dimensions in the back as it is in the front. Carpeted liner inside, and then it sits on air suspension. But that is it for a side profile view. Let's take a look at that back tailgate. So in the back here of the GMC Yukon Denali, we'll start in the middle. We can see we got the Denali name planted right in the middle, Yukon on the left, GMC on the right. We can see we also get quad tipped exhaust tips there. We're gonna get some more brushed aluminum there at the top and then on the bottom of the bumper. We've got parking sensors down below. This does have LED taillights, and I think they look really good. You also get a GMC logo right there on the side of it. I'm just gonna zoom out here for a second. Now, a couple ways to open up the back. You can actually open up the glass part just by clicking a button to the right of the eye in the Denali name, have it go all the way up so you can access the back if needed. I also like the fact that they stow the rear wiper in this little lip here instead of having it planted right here. Now there are two cameras here. One is for your mirror camera, which we'll go over, and one is for the back camera. Now to open up the full tailgate, you push that button there and it will open up automatically. Now without the XL, you're not gonna get a lot of room back here. You get a little bit of storage inside here, but you're gonna get a foot more of room at least in the XL compared to just the regular version of the Yukon. You also can't put the seats down. So by clicking this button here, you can access the third row and put it all the way down if needed. Now you can't put the second row seats down just by clicking this button here, and they will fold just like that. And as you can see, you're able to get a lot more room. If you put all the seats down, just so I can show all of you guys, this is how much room you'd actually have back here. You can definitely fit a mattress back here, honestly. There is a crap ton of room back here. Now you can only put the third row seats up just by clicking these two buttons here, but you actually have to manually put the second row seats up. You also get a 120 plug back here. But overall, that is really it for the back here. Click the button there and the tailgate will shut. Let me know what you guys think, but that is it for the back. Let's take a look at the seat behind the driver. I just want to thank Applewood GM here in Mississauga, Ontario. Go see my boy Zach, he'll hook you up with a great deal. So in the back here of the GMC Yukon Denali, this is what it looks like. We'll start here with the door panel. All soft touch here, you get real wood trim, lock and unlock, window control, then your speaker down below, and you're gonna get some storage at the bottom of the door panel. Denali here on the door sill, and this is what that seat looks like. So soft and plush, and like I said, I think the 26 model year gives you a lot more comfort on the seats. And then here are your climate controls. You've got heated seats back here, USB-C and HDMI with a 120, cup holders there at the top, and then got two screens as well. So a really nice area to hang out for a long drive. Then you've got your armrest. That's it for the back. Let's take a look at the front. All right, so this is what the front of the GMC Yukon Denali looks like. So we'll start with the door panel. Again, all soft touch here, some real wood trim, soft touch here at the top, memory seating, lock and unlock, window and mirror controls here, and the mirrors are power folding. You got your Bose speaker here and some storage. Denali here on the door sill, and then this is what that seat looks like. So again, you got Denali stitched in the seats themselves, and the seats do feel a lot more comfier, I gotta say. Now on the left side of the steering wheel, you've got your 4x4 settings here with your different drive modes. You've got your light controls with your trailer brake controller, parking brake, and then here we've got a couple things. 360 camera, we've got your parking sensors, which you can turn on or off. You've got auto stop start, lane keeping assist. This car will park itself if needed. Hill descent control, and then your traction control. A lot of things, and this is a telescopic steering wheel. That's it before we hop in, guys. Let's take a look inside. So this is what the inside of the Yukon Denali looks like. We'll start with the steering wheel. We've got a leather wrap steering wheel here, as we can see. We've got Super Cruise here at the top, which is controlled via this button here. You got your forward collision alert, and you can also just use adaptive cruise control if you want. This here will monitor your eyes when you do have Super Cruise activated. On the right side here, we've got your heated steering wheel button, which we can turn on or off. This here is your different screen selection, so you can kind of go through the different screens. You can have, Google Maps on here, your forward indication alert. I kind of like this screen or this screen because it gives you your RPMs. Now you can put it into imperial or metric depending on where you are. Now behind the steering wheel, you've got your paddles as well if you want to put it into sport mode, but the steering wheel design looks good. You got some brushed aluminum look throughout, and it's a pretty thick steering wheel. Now behind on the left, we've got your toggle for your wipers, and then over here we've got your transmission select. This one does have a heads-up display, and it is controlled via the screen inside, which we'll go over. But overall, the dash itself, I would say, is a hard touch plastic. It kind of looks like a leather, but it's not. On the sides of it too, it is, I would say, more hard touch. You do get storage up here too, which is nice to note, so you can't put things up there. And then again, that carries over onto this side. You're gonna get speakers on this side here, on the driver's side, and also on the passenger side. Now, this is what the screen looks like. It's kind of like a big tablet. You can kind of configure it depending on what you want. So if you click this button here at the top, it will kind of section it. So you can have your maps, audio, and then something else on this side. You can also have your music take up the whole screen if you want, or your maps. So it's just going to depend obviously on the user. So you hit the home button there, you can hit camera, and then you've got different camera angles, and the camera angles, I gotta say, are pretty good. We can hit X there. Now it will park itself, and then to access climate, you can click the climate, or you can actually just hit this button at the bottom here and move it up or down to control the fan speed, and then the climate will turn on. It does have heated and ventilated seats, dual zone climate. We'll hit the home button again, and then you can scroll through, and then here are your control buttons here. So you can change your heads up display, layout. You can put your power assisted steps out, change your blind spot, steering assist. So it's just going to depend obviously on the user, but it's got a ton of cool options here. You've got the app store, so you can add apps on here too. Spotify, you can probably add a lot more things on here too. Your Bluetooth, it does have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Now I believe for 27 or 28, they are going to get rid of Apple CarPlay and Android Auto in the GM vehicles. So that is one thing to note. But overall, I got to say the screen works well, and I'd say it looks good into the dashboard here. Down below here, we've got your wireless charging pad for your phone, and then you can close this to make it kind of look like a clean look. The problem with the piano black is it gets fingerprints all over it, so it's kind of best really to leave it open. You've got USB and USB-C plugs here, 2 cup holders, and again, you're going to get more of that wood trim on the sides, and then some soft padding. Now over here, you're going to get this center console area. You're going to get the Denali name here, some more leather with some kind of like gray stitching. Then as we open this up, it doesn't look like a big storage console here, but one thing that GM did, you can actually move this part back. So just by clicking this button here, this little arrow, you can have this center console move all the way back, so you get better access. So the second row passengers get better access to this here, and then you can pop this out and get a lot more storage. If you don't need that, you'll have this. So really cool that they can do that. And then you can push it forward again and have it come all the way back to where it was. So that is a really cool thing that they did. I know people are going to say, well, what if this breaks? Well, hopefully you have warranty. Now this is what the camera looks like for your rear camera mirror, which you can turn on or off. And then you also can put the third row seats down. So just by clicking this button here, you can push the third row seats down, so you don't have to go all the way back here, or you can have them go all the way back up. So that is really cool that they did that as well. But overall, I gotta say, personally, I really like the black interior because it just kind of goes well with all the contrast with the wood. It's got a little bit of some chrome here, and then also here on the wheel itself. But I think it's a really nice interior. I also do like the Denali Ultimate, but it's just gonna come down really to the end user. Now I've got the window sticker over there. Let's talk price and go over my final thoughts. So let's talk price. 2026 GMC Yukon Denali here in Onyx Black, $125,202 Canadian. Yeah, I gotta say, it's definitely a hefty price. Now, would you still spend, 5, 10, or even almost 20 grand more to get the Yukon Denali Ultimate, or would you just rather settle with the Yukon Denali, or would you go maybe with an Escalade? So let me know what you guys think about the review and the Yukon itself. Curious to know what your thoughts are. That concludes this review. We'll see you in the next one.